I need like a phone stand. Okay.
Those are handy. Hey, everybody. This is part two of tonight's Let's Talk Lake County. I'm your host, David Rich. Just interviewed Jennifer Banek, Lake County Coroner incumbent. Lovely conversation. Now we have the wonderful, the one, the only Erin Cartwright Weinstein, Lake County Circuit Court Clerk. Hello, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm fabulous, thanks. So yeah, we're just gonna have a little bit of a chat here. I wanted to see what's going on with your campaign, how it's going, the ups, the downs, the trials, the tribulations. What's happening? How's it going?
It's going pretty well. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean it's the last end of the road.
yeah. 2 weeks from today.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Can't wait.
I think most of America can't wait.
Yeah. But no, it's going pretty well. We have our last event coming up this Friday from 6 to 8 at Bill's Pub North. So we're doing
Oh,
that. That's going to be like our last fundraiser finale. And that's with Joyce Mason. But
awesome.
otherwise it's, going out to greet voters, finishing up mailers, finishing
Mhm,
up endorsements. Um,
mhm.
a lot of
Parades, walking in a lot of parades.
Yeah, those have been done. Those have been done, so
Yeah,
thank goodness.
yeah, yeah. Those are, I would imagine, a bit arduous.
Yeah.
Having to walk all that way and then walk all the way back.
It's
So
good when there's shorter routes, I'll say that.
I would imagine like the smaller towns, round out. But okay, very cool. And well, I mean, so how long have you been, like, when you're the incumbent? This is your third term? This will be your
This
third
will be
term.
going into my third term, yep.
Wow, that's impressive. Okay, I mean
Yeah.
that's actually a good sign that you won twice in a row already. Um, the tendency of you winning this next one goes up
Yeah,
because
I
you
hope
won.
so.
Yeah, I mean, just the likelihood of you winning the next one goes up. So okay, very cool. Were there any debates or any sort of conversation specifically with your opponent, Carla Wyckoff?
Yeah, so we had the Daily Herald endorsement interviews,
Hmm.
and we did those together on Zoom. And I got the endorsement yesterday, so I was very excited. And then we had a League of Women Voters debate about a week ago, and then we have a debate tomorrow night at the Lake County Bar Association. It's being hosted by the Lake County Bar Association at doors open at 5 o'clock at the Greenbelt Cultural Center in Waukegan, and we debate first at 5:30, and then the state's attorney debate is after ours.
So you and Carla Wyckoff will debate at 5:30. After that, it's Eric and I don't remember Simmons. Is that his running the what's his name?
No, Mary Cole.
Mary Cole. Okay, okay. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I think I read something in McKinney. Okay, and they'll debate after that.
Yes.
Okay, is this all on video? Is something like I won't be able to watch it live. Can I watch it after?
I don't know if they're recording tomorrow. I can't
Okay.
remember. But they did record the League of Women Voters.
Oh, they did.
Yes. Yep. So that's
Yep.
on YouTube.
YouTube.
I can
Under
send it to you and you can share
Yeah,
it if
send
you
me the
want.
link and I'll put it on my
Sure.
Facebook page. That would be great. I would
Sure.
love to see something like that. I
Yeah.
don't get to see a lot of local debates. I've seen a handful since I started doing radio and stuff like that, and they're very interesting. They're a lot more interesting and friendly than like the federal ones, where it just gets nasty and gross. Right.
Yeah, it depends. Some of them are friendly, some of them aren't.
Some of them get pretty bad. I haven't seen that one yet.
Eric and Mary's was a
Little
little
heated.
touchy. Yeah, sorry, my dogs are barking.
Yeah, that's interesting because I mean, they're talking about like laws and like prosecution and like a really direct effect on people's lives like that. So that's got to be a really, you're bringing all your moral baggage with you, and like if you don't agree, man, oh man, that's got to be tough, right?
Right. I apologize. My dogs are barking because someone is outside picking up signs. So I'm going to go hide in a closet for a second. See if I can tone that
It
noise
only sounds
down.
like a little garbly in the back, but yeah, no, I'm
Okay.
familiar with your dog's barking. So
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Well, all right. Well,
Yep.
I mean, any like
Okay.
highlight. You talked about like hanging out with all these different people. The League of Women's Voters is something that comes up at every single election, like all over the place. Who are well, what is that exactly? Do you know? Because they
It's
have a
a
lot of political power.
Well, they're considered a nonpartisan organization, and
Right.
they are a group of women who are very interested in politics, and spend a lot of time focusing on politics and helping get the vote out or get people out to vote, and introducing candidates to people so that they can get to know them. So
That's great. No, good. That's wonderful. I love that.
yeah.
And what was I just going to ask you? So you said some of the highlights of the campaign and talked about the debates a little bit. Okay, tell us about the Lake County Circuit Court clerk and what you actually do as a elected official.
So my role is specifically in the judicial branch of government. So I work directly with the courts, and I am the record keeper for the court system. I have all of the clerks that sit in the courtroom next to the judge and keep the minutes and record the minutes. And then I have clerks that are in the office who assist the public, because we are the gateway between the public and the in the courtroom. Basically, if you're going to be in court, you have to go through me first. Basically, like, we take care of all of the documents, we have your appearances, and we do assist victims, such as we collect restitution and then distribute that restitution out to victims.
Wow.
And we assist victims when if they have questions about the court dates, how, where to go, if there's anything that they need to do. And that's what we do from our end. We also keep all of the evidence that's admitted at trial. We have all of that in a main storage. We have a specially built building that has to be temperature controlled and secured. And we also have like special refrigeration for, biohazard materials and that kind of stuff. So we keep all of that, and we're responsible for making sure if cases are appealed, that those cases go up to the appellate court in the appellate court specific format, and everything gets to them. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
That's a lot to do. And didn't you do something wonderful like your first term, as far as like digitizing all the stuff that was merely hard copy or something like that?
Sorry, I'm getting out of the closet now. They're done barking.
Yeah, you heard it here first, everybody.
Entertaining your entertaining their viewers here. So we did quite a bit of technology advancement in the office so far. We started off with digitizing the documents. When I came in, everything was in paper, and our system was COBOL. So we have corrected all of that. I know so many people don't know what COBOL is, and I say, well, do you know what?
Because it's like from the 80s.
I'm like, well, do you know Atari?
Right, exactly.
Do you remember Atari? And they're like, no. But I think Atari is coming back out again. Like, you can buy it on eBay and stuff. I don't know. But anyway, that system has been replaced, and we now have a new web browser based system. And in the midst of working on that system, we also were digitizing all the documents so that we could go e-record.
So is it literally like taking an individual document and putting it into a scanner so it goes into the computer and just like one document at a time?
It varied. So some of the documents were able to be batch scanned if we had, so if we had cases that were closed, we were able to batch scan those, and then it would connect, to the case number in the case management system, so we could still attach and grab it because they're all OCR. And then we have, but then all the pending cases, the company actually brought people on site, and the people came in and just were constantly scanning until they were caught up. Wow. And then we're also scanning right now. We're doing the microfilm so that we can get rid of our microfilm machines.
Interesting. Now, are you legally obligated after you digitize everything to still hold on to the hard copies, or can you legally just get rid of it?
We can legally get rid of it after 30 days, but we haven't yet, just because we're trying to make sure, quality control wise, that no documents were missed. So until we got through, and it's going to take years for us to do this, but until we got through all of the files and make sure that every document made it in there, then we'll destroy. So it's taking a little bit of time.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of files from a very long time ago up till now. That's craziness. That's good. Okay. I mean, I'm good for you for doing it. It had to be done eventually. I mean, you got to enter into the 21st century at some point. So
And
you know,
it's
and
too
it's
expensive, and it's not environmentally friendly. I mean, we were running through hundreds of boxes of paper, and now we're barely going through any. So, made a
yeah,
huge difference.
it saves trees, folks. Yeah, for sure. That's very cool. Okay, and like I'm assuming there's like a backup to the backup to the backup if you don't need the hard copies anymore. So like that kind of thing.
They do have a data recovery.
Mm.
So yeah, and then anything that was put onto microfilm, the state archives keeps microfilm as well as we do. So there's 2 copies of the microfilm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's up to them to do their own digitizing.
No,
That's not
we do it. We do
you
it
do.
and send it down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
No, they don't. Clerks can
Okay.
do it.
Folks can do it. Okay. Okay. I gotcha.
Yep.
Well, that's very interesting. Anything you'd like to emphasize about your campaign right now, and any sort of comparison or contrast with your competitor or anything?
There's a lot of differences between my competitor and myself. So the first thing is we have completely different views on employees and morale in the office. I mean, she has, she's alleged that I've been political in the office, but her allegations that are coming out are insinuating that people that would be in the office would not necessarily be good to the employees. And so that's one big piece to me. That is I feel very strongly that you have to have a place of employment that you are happy to go to every day, and that you have to have a living wage, and that you have to be treated in a manner of just complete respect and follow the laws. So, if the laws change, like fathers' rights have come out now, right? So they have paternity rights. So that's important, and you don't want to have someone in the office who isn't going to be compliant with those laws or give you pushback on those laws. And those are things that I'm concerned about. She's also anti-union, and I'm pro-union. So
Your
she
office
was,
is unionized, right?
I'm sorry, what?
Is your office unionized? No, well, not all of them
Yes.
are.
Yes, my office is union. We have AFSCME. And when I
Um,
came in to office, my predecessor, who recruited the current person who's running, he fought the union for about 4 years. And when I started, the staff was making a starting wage of $12.73 an hour, which was $1.30. It was $1.37 below minimum wage at that point, because minimum wage was $14 an hour. And when I questioned our human resources department about it, he said, well, because he was trying to certify the union, they weren't going to give raises or do anything. So I immediately came in and made an adjustment and got them up to, the grades that they were supposed to be at. We adjusted the grades and set them at a minimum of that grade, which was around $17 an hour.
wow, nice.
Yeah. And so we at least got there, and then, which was beginning of 2017. And then we started working on the union contract. And after we finalized the union contract, they bumped again, but we didn't hold them back during that time frame when we were trying to, get the union contract. We didn't stop them from getting the raises that the county was providing for cost of living. And they did, my predecessor did do that. And it was
It's so lame.
really a horrible thing to do to people. And you
Very
can't
coastal.
expect people, right? And you can't expect people to come in and be at their best if they're having to work 2 or 3 jobs. I had one staff member working 3 jobs, and one of them was bartending. Well, you can't be at a bar until midnight and then
Right.
come in and be at work at 8:30 in the morning and be able to manage court records. I mean,
Right.
those are court records are very important to people. They need
Yeah.
that documentation and that information to function. And that just always blew my mind that had happened, and that will never happen again. But that is one of the employee relations would definitely be one of the biggest issues between the two of us, and really the only one she's brought up, to be honest.
Well, that's
So
interesting that and it's just sort of like a theme amongst Republicans, at least this election cycle, if not the several, that just bragging and boasting about like idiotic economic theories, and like how you, including how you treat your employees. and like what a living wage does and that thing. I mean, they have a very twisted understanding of economics. I've studied economics, and I don't understand what the hell they're talking about. Like, if you want the country's economic system to utterly collapse, all the federal office be run by Republicans, and I guarantee you, within 6 months, it'll be over. So, anyway, okay, well, so those are the biggies, and then there's a special place in hell for me if there's somebody who's anti-union, like people who don't believe in labor rights. Like, do you know there would be no middle class without the union in this country? Are you out of your mind? You know what all the good unions did for this country? Are you kidding me?
It's
You wouldn't have
huge.
weekends. You wouldn't have weekends or late or 40-hour work weeks. You'd still have kids working in sweatshops. I mean, it's disgusting. The things that you're just dismissing as like ridiculous or something like that. It's nonsense.
They
Anyway,
have a very important purpose. A very important
extremely
purpose.
important purpose. And I'm not saying all unionists, the people involved, are perfect, because they're not. There's been some shenanigans happening, but it's usually very well corrected, and because there's so many checks and balances. Anyway, okay, so that's one of the bigger issues you said, and that's the only one that she brought up. Did you have any other smaller ones, or?
I mean, for me, it's continuing on with everything that I've been doing and just not stopping because I'm not good at that. My staff always says, "Will you please slow down?"
You
But
do.
I,
You are a go getter.
yeah. So and then I love it. I mean, I really enjoy everything that we've everything we've done up to this point, and I'm excited to move forward and do more in the future. And we, with the case management system, we actually also have the first two AI robots in the county. And we were the first circuit clerk's office in the state of Illinois to bring in AI robots. And they are two bots that just sit on a virtual desktop. And when somebody files their documents into a case, and it goes through what we call an electronic filing manager, and they basically upload the documents, and then one company has those documents, but then once they've got those documents, we have to move them over to our system and input all the data from those documents into the system that we need that isn't included in the other system. So those bots actually pull the documents, read them, pull everything we've trained them to pull off of the documents and upload it into the system. And honestly, they're so fast. They
Oh
work
yeah,
24/7,
that's
and
amazing.
I know, and they are just it has made such a huge difference for us because my staff couldn't keep up. And
Sure.
we'd be coming in and we'd have 150 pages of documents to review, and then somebody filed something that's up in court in 48 hours and we don't get it done and the judge can't see it. So this has allowed us to have those done within a couple of hours of somebody filing something versus a few days. And that's made an enormous difference in improved efficiencies in the office. We and then we going forward, now that we have our new case management system, we're working with the sheriff's department to do electronic citations, so the police officers can actually do the citations computerized in their cars. A lot of our departments are already ready on that front, and we've been a little bit behind them. So and then our sheriff's department just went live with their system, and they're implementing everything as we're speaking to, you know, get everything caught up between connecting to our system.
Mhm.
And as they're working on that right now. And once that's done, then we can work on actually starting to pull those documents and having those electronic citations. So that's going to be big because it's going to cut down a lot of taxpayer dollars, because right now we have sheriffs who have to drive around to all of my branch courts, drop off the tickets. They have to come there to get any information that they need from us. And so this will actually allow us to be able to exchange data without them having to drive. And that cuts back overtime. There's a lot of pieces to it. So that's going to be fantastic. And then we have e-filing right now for the civil department, so money damages, property damages, and now we're moving into having e-citation e-filing for criminal cases. So that part is biggest for like the criminal defense attorneys, so that they can actually start doing their e-filing. That's in the works right now. We're also looking at a few other like either AI components, or they may end up not needing to use AI, but they're looking at different components for data transfer within the offices and the attorneys that, will alleviate a lot of manual work on my end and on the attorney's end. So there's a lots of little pieces going on. E-certify, so we're going to have electronic certifications of records. So if somebody needs an electronic copy of a judgment in a divorce case, or they need an electronic copy of an immigration, or data for their immigration case, that can all be done online. And you won't have to come into Waukegan anymore, even though we really miss seeing people, because we don't see people as much as we used to, because they can sit at their desks and do it. But yeah, there's a lot, still kind of happening and moving forward, and it's kind of exciting.
That is very exciting. That's right. I want to, can I come in sometime and like look at the robots? That just sounds fascinating to me.
So I can show you how they work, but you can't like physically see them because they're inside of a desktop. But I can show you on a screen. I can show you them working.
Okay, cool. We'll do that. 'Cause I'm like fascinated with AI, as a lot of people are and stuff, and I robotics and everything, and I love that stuff. Hopefully AI won't take over the world, but
We
like the
have
like.
oh, sorry. Yeah, we have a company that actually has artificial intelligence robots for courthouses, and they've had the robot out for a few years, but they just started doing kiosks, and it's so cool because it speaks 35 different languages, and they have all different like ethnicities. You can pick any ethnicity, you can do their hair, you can dress them up in whatever, however you want them to look. If you want them in like a polo shirt or a shirt and tie, or you can a dress, suit, coat, whatever. You can do all of that with these, and then they answer all of your questions that they're able to answer. If they can't answer something, they'll ring you into a circuit clerk. They show you wayfinding and how to get places. If you say,
Wow.
I want to file a divorce, it'll say, well, here's the documentation that you will need to start a divorce case. And this is where you go to pay and file. And like, it shows you everything. It's really cool. So
That's really
they're pretty
cool.
pricey, but they're pretty cool.
Yeah, they're extremely pricey. You can get one online for like $35,000. That probably doesn't do all that, but I mean, they're pretty cool things. And maybe I don't know. Maybe they'll take over the whole judicial system and like the actual court aspect of it. You have an android just as the judge. It's all rational, logical reasoning, right? Here's the law. Here's all the possible ways you can break the law in degrees of from accidentally doing it to doing it on, manslaughter versus, murder or whatever. And here's all the information from the crime. Boom, boom, guilty, not guilty. That's it. You're done. It's all algorithmic.
So it is. It's kind of. It is. It is. It's out there. So they actually do have. They do have like I'm trying to think. It's not a proposal. I don't have the word coming to me. Like a They actually. What is the word?
Proposition.
No.
I have
Like,
those.
but they have a prototype. There it is.
There you go.
They have a prototype of a judge. And it's interesting hearing the arguments back and forth for it and against it. And some of it's like, right, you take out the subjective part and you're only objective, and they can read body language. So how much credibility can they pick up? Can they tell if you're lying? But there's this whole dynamic of, the
Well, yeah,
social mores
the
around that and all that.
a lot of people would argue like we don't want to get rid of the subjective. We want a human being with emotions and empathy, and
Right.
who can like look at a criminal or a victim, whatever, and not be a complete and total objective jerk about it. We are each individuals, and we do, and we probably should be treated that way instead of just like this as faceless, nameless, whatever, and like this, collective. So.
Well, and how would a robot determine if there was enough circumstantial evidence in a case, right? I mean, if you've got actual physical blatant evidence in a case,
Mhm.
The robot could probably figure that out pretty easily. But circumstantial, was it enough? Wasn't it enough? I mean, how do
Yeah,
they
those
can they
gray
determine
areas
that
where
logic?
right, exactly. Like, yeah, because some judges will call circumstantial like good evidence, and some will say no, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
That's no, that's interesting point, really. The areas in the reasoning of a judge or a jury, like can it be all logically assigned and done as a computer program or something is a different thing. The human mind is very, very, very complex. Okay, so like I was thinking, like you're saying, like you can read body language. Well, body language reading is not a very hard science there. Like, I know people that I stand like this a lot in public. Now it looks like I'm like just being macho or pissed off, and actually it's just very comfortable because I have back pain problems. Like if I did that in a court, would the Android judge be like, "Oh, you're a jerk, you're in contempt," because he's reading my body
Right.
language, like stuff like that. Like so okay, cool. That's still fascinating. Absolutely.
And
Um,
can AI, so if say they're trying to present damages to a judge and AI can add and subtract much better and the attorney's making an error, is the AI going to constantly be correcting the attorney when they're making mistakes? I mean, they're so much further along, right? They say AI can detect illness in people better than doctors can. So just really interesting.
that's interesting because okay. I'll tell you about my doctor's appointment on Friday where he annoyed me because he was
Oh,
wrong. Anyway, he doesn't know that I'm like trained in like statistics and probability. Anyway, so okay, cool. Anything else you want to ask? I know you gotta get going and do some stuff. You're busy.
yeah, no, that sounds like about it. Yeah, so we're just keep plugging along, working on different things for access to justice and helping people navigate through the system, and
I love that.
that's
Access to
that's
justice.
it.
That's a great thing. That should be a.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write a poem called
Okay,
Access to
I look
Justice.
forward.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, Erin
Bye.
Cartwright,
Thank
Weinstein,
you.
Lake County Circuit Court Clerk. 8,000 letters in that phrase. So thank you so much for coming on again. Erin's a friend of mine. Her husband's a friend of mine. I adore you both. I think you're doing a great job. You really care about the community and what you're doing, which is wonderful to see. A lot of politicians are in this just for prestige or high profile or maybe just networking. I don't know, but you really do care about people and that you're doing a good job for the people. I love that. So thank you
Thank
very much for
you.
what you
And we
do and
adore
who
you
you are.
too.
Thank you very much. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk Lake County. I'll see you next time. Erin, I'll see you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.